We're talking about right now, not about your plans, but about where are you now.
Welcome to the product card from the Solopreneurs Lab community, the place where you turn your product into a revenue engine. We are here to give solo builders honest insights that actually moves the product from idea to traction. The purpose of the product card is simple: to stress test your product in a safe environment so you can uncover what's blocking traction and define the exact actions that lead to revenue. In the core today, our solopreneur Ganesh, who is building remote job IO. The prosecutor is Lev. He will challenge the product and find what's weak, unclear, or blocking growth. And the defense Art. He will highlight what's working, what has potential, and help Ganesh define the next steps to make money from his product. So, Ganesh, you have 3 minutes to pitch your product and share the challenges that you are facing right now.
Yeah, actually, I founded remotejob.io in 2025. We have finished the product and we have like 1,800 users already. The biggest challenge at the moment is acquiring employers who would be interested to using our product. Let me tell you something about the product. We are trying to take the hiring hassle of the founders. So many startups and founders are coming up every day, and most of the time it's the founder. So what we're basically doing is automating how they find employees and how they hire it. They can just post a job, which is again AI enabled. We have the talent database from where they can invite candidates. The next hassle or the problem that founders face is qualifying the candidates. We have job matching software. So what it does is match the CV with the job description. It will rank them and they can choose people like who they would like to interview. We let the employers to define some pre-qualifying questions, and people, they will be sending their video answers to those questions. And so what our system does is it automatically transcribes and summarizes we call it pre-interview. Looking at the summaries, they can call them for the main interview, and those interviews will again be transcribed and summarized automatically. The hiring team, they can go through transcripts and they can decide who to choose. We call it the end-to-end hiring solution. That's the list of the key features.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. And I think the court is now in session. So, Lev, you can start.
Okay. Tell me, please, more about your competitors, the biggest one, or maybe the biggest three.
I think we come in between HRIS and the job boards. I think we work remotely, Remotive, Remote OK, and Deal.com, Oyster, HR, all they are the biggest players in this sector. Since we are not dealing with the freelancing jobs at the moment, like freelancing gigs like they do in Fiverr and Upwork, so I think they are not our main competitors at the moment.
Talking about freelance, you said that you are focusing on solo founders or small teams, startups, trying to hire developers. Am I correct?
Yeah. Remote team, especially
remote. Yeah, I see, and I know that your competitor is freelance, not freelance board, but freelance as a thing. Why should anyone choose hire instead of freelance? And if they want to hire somebody, why should they choose you instead of hire a man from freelance for full-time job?
There are companies who want to work with freelancers on the full-time basis. I mean, they don't want to hire somebody for like just one contract or one gig. So maybe we have a very small TAM, TAM, right? But yes, we have this on the roadmap to also host freelancing gigs and jobs.
No, we're talking for right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're talking about right now, not about your plans, but about where are you now.
Okay, yeah, but so basically our point is that we'll only be working with those companies who want to hire remote people, remote workers, but on the full-time basis. We are not targeting freelancing gigs at the moment.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Be more specific. What are those guys? They are solo founders for small teams. They don't want to hire freelance part-time. They don't want to hire freelance full-time. They don't want to tackle with lawyers, with contracts, with money. So what are those guys? Why should they tackle all this stuff when there is more efficient way to hire freelance?
They are like totally different market sectors. Some companies, they want to work with the freelancer and they want to work on a full-time basis. They are seeking their full-time attention to the job.
Mhm. I can imagine that there is some kind of guys who really want to hire instead of buy, but I'm not sure that it's a big piece of cake. Can you please be more specific? Why would any startup should hire with all that contracts, with all that payment stuff, instead of buying out stuff freelance or something like that? Be more specific. Like these kind of startups who are doing this, they raised money or not raised money, they do exactly what you want because of the. You can take a break to think about it.
I think the most important thing is the code security. And also once a company hit product market fit, PMF, right? I think they would want like more like stable employees. They don't want to work with freelancers anymore. So like my throughput, I've already hit my throughput. So, but I have more tasks to accomplish, like finish. Freelancers are actually expensive because they charge them on an hourly basis and they are charging much higher than what they would rather pay to a full-time employee. So I think having full-time employees, it's better on economic aspect.
Mhm. What you're saying sounds like hypothesis or your opinion. Do you have any research that could prove your words?
I think there are like plenty of research already done, and it's my experience. Companies don't hire freelancers for their regular job. Freelancers are basically only for the one-time gig. What you're calling the freelancer are actually the people that we are trying to get on board on our site, remotejob.io.
Mhm.
So like people can hire full-time from our job board.
You say hire. You mean I sign contracts directly with this guy, or I'm hiring him on your platform, or what else?
No, actually, we don't have any sort of obligation to sign contract with us. They just sign up to our site and they apply to the jobs that's being posted, that's being hosted on the site. And the job seekers, they come in, they create a profile, go through the jobs, and they apply to the jobs. And basically, we are just one tool that is helping busy founders and hiring managers to hire efficiently in a like low cost. We are not charging premium. Our rate is much lower than what the US companies, bigger companies are charging. Ours is like a fraction of whole cost.
You said that your competitors are job boards, but now you're saying that you are not a job board. First of all, you're a tool which helps founders to operate in their HR pipeline. Do you really know your competitors, like other tools, HR tech tools?
Like I said earlier, like we're in the middle. We are also working as HRI system. We're also working as job board. We cannot put us in one category. We are trying to bridge the gap. We want to take off the entire hiring hassle off their shoulder.
As I know, another HR tech application are your competitors, and they do exactly the same. Where is the need of the bridge? Where are you? Because right now it looks like there is market of HR tech applications, there is market of job boards, and they just connected. But you are not the software, you are not a job board, you are somewhere in the middle, and you're presenting that you cannot focus your startup as your advantage. Why?
We're trying to help busy founders right from the beginning. So that I'm looking to hire some people, but I'm clueless. So my requirement is I want to hire, but my budget is very small because I've just begun and I want qualified people and I want to do it faster. So I don't have to wait for weeks and weeks just to hire one engineer. You will have to create a job. If you look at we work remotely, then they charge like almost $300 for just one job. Even if you do that, then you have hundreds of applicants. Right? So how do we filter them? How do you qualify them?
I understand that. My concern is that your target audience, as you said, focusing on security. That's why they want to hire. If they need this level of security, it means there is something to protect. You can protect only some equity. If you have some equity, you have some money. Or it's a very strange startup and it's very small market with equity and without money. So if you want to protect your equity and you have money, you can hire the HR manager or just go to freelance HR manager who can help tackle all this hassle. That's one point. And I still don't understand where is your
When I said
place.
like security, what I actually meant is you have built a company, it's 1 year old, and your like MRR or ARR is like 10K, right? You just want to add one feature. Now just imagine like you hire a freelancer from Upwork and you have to give access to the entire code system to that freelancer. So what I'm saying is like, if I have enough budget and if I have enough work, then I'll definitely go for one full-time employee. I'll do all the legal documents and all those things, and I'd rather hire one full-time employee because I can give him a job and I have the money to pay him, right?
Okay, thank you for the interview. I have heard enough. My conclusion is that's good that you have motivation and willing to fix some problems. It's very good that you have experience in those domain. What I can see now, you can't focus on something, on exact problem or exact market, because you are running from SaaS service to job board and you just can't decide where to be. I don't know exactly what your software is doing, but it looks like 5 or 8 Claude codes or just Claude tools, or maybe just the NA10 pipeline can replace all your startup. For the 20 minutes, that's all I heard. Art, that's your turn.
From what I've heard, and also having some experience in building HR tech startups myself, I see some quite bright points. First of all, you have a clear, immediate revenue path, right? Having this tiered subscription model, you could generate revenue from day one, no overly expensive capitalization, funding, get some money later down. So once you have some first customers, you are already earning more or less. In general, over the various industries or verticals, software subscriptions typically they are running 70 to 80% margins. So there are some good healthy margins inside of your product, especially given the general HR, pretty much HR slice of the market. Another very good and bright topic is that there is validated demand. Of course, people already paying for recruitment software, right? Like LinkedIn, Indeed, and Bullhorn. A lot of competitors or similar products are already earning money on the market, and it's very good, meaning that in some sense you don't need to validate the idea in general yourself that you could earn money from this stuff. Another point is that this problem is recurring, the pain is recurring, right? People are going to be hiring always, forever, till AI replaces us all. So recurring pain means pretty much that you'll be hitting recurring revenue, which is always good in raising money or just projecting your pretty much business plans. The next upside is in some form is a downside itself, as Lev mentioned at the end, is that AI features, of course, are a differentiator as compared to not using AI at all. But at the same time, it's a huge risk because why to pay for some software if you could just open Claude or OpenAI web interface and just spend some time there? It's an open market like for all of us. The current AI upspring gives us all a lot of opportunities, but at the same time, it's a risk because everyone is doing AI. So one of advices from my side would be to think very clearly what really differentiates you from your competitors, like in business terms or technology terms. That brings me to your original question when you hit our submission form, like how do you pitch to a busy founder or something like that? So there is a trend of the 3-second rule. It's not even 90-second rules anymore. Busy founders, they decide in like 3 seconds whether to keep listening to you or keep reading your elevator pitch. So I would say that you should really think clearly on your differentiation and put it in a one-liner that you could read in 3 seconds, pretty much. Something like, this software help remote-first companies to hire faster and cheaper with AI-powered interview screening. And each word must be well thought. It's not like buzzwords like revolutionary platform, turning the table. No big words like that. Just very simple and to the point, pretty much. And while you'll be thinking about what differentiates you from your competitors, it would be extremely good to plan customer interviews. If you already have some first customers, you should really interview them. If you don't have your first customers, you should really spend some time looking at your competitors and looking at the negative reviews, negative feedbacks, negative videos, whatever you could find, saying, I don't like some product in HR tech because it does these things horribly. And you will uncover a lot of hidden gems, so to say, while working with that. Because in the current market, people will be coming to your specific solution as compared to some bigger players to solve some very particular pains. And you could really differentiate in that area by solving something that competitors are not doing great or not doing at all. When you'll be thinking about that, you could decide on a very manageable scope of your core value proposition. It's kind of the upside point of your software, but you need to figure it out, right? What is the manageable scope, right? What is your core value proposition, which is singular? Not 2 of them, not 10 of them, one. What single pain you'll be solving when going to the market? You could solve many more pains later on when raising money, having established revenue model, but you should start by solving just one simple problem or one simple pain. In general, I would say this is a quite promising product. Of course, you have revenue viability, demand is validated, you'll find a limited scope, which is more or less easy if you explore your competitors. And there is pretty much resilience in some sense, because software as a service, recurring subscription model, this uphill trend because HR is not going anywhere. AI hit the market in some sense, and we see the decline of jobs. But if you take a look from the other side, you still see a lot of hires by humans, and humans are hiring humans. The much resilience and uphill trend is not going anywhere. So that would be my pretty much bright points, considering what I've learned about your product and what I've heard in your pitch.
I really appreciate all the feedback. Yeah, Artem, he gave me feedback, and I think that makes so much sense. And like Lev said, he has very valid objections, but I'm really hopeful because like Artem said, HR is not going anywhere. AI is taking over many jobs, right? But still, I think HR and the human workers, they will be there a few decades. I think the company model and all those things, they will always be there. So I think remote job has good future. That's basically what I see. Yeah, everybody has their own perspective, but I see remote job, it will stay here because I think people will seek more and more, learn more about their personal freedom, who they want to work with, where they want to work from, right? And we have all the time to rip off the fruit. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. So before we close, I would like to ask you, what action items are you taking from today's discussion?
We'll be focusing on the marketing. So I think that's what we'll be working on.
Okay, thank you everyone, and special thanks to Lev and Art for today's sharpness, and court adjourned.